Good morning. I am just on my way to see a client in their home this morning. So, as I do with my multitasking, I am busy doing some social media. And I posted something on my stories today about Simon Cowell and how he used Pete Waterman as his mentor. And that's pretty standard. Anyone that's successful always has learned from someone who's been there, done it 1,000 times, and they know the shortcuts so that you end up saving time, money, energy, emotional turmoil by getting where you want to be faster. But in the fertility industry, assuming that you're not going down the ART route, where you just basically hand it off to the doctors to give you medications, if you want to do it naturally, there is an assumption across many of the people that I speak with on a daily basis that you should be able to do this on your own. But if you're going in for IVF, you wouldn't expect the doctors to just give you a generalized prescription, would you? Or even for anything medical. You wouldn't say, okay, well, that person next door took this amount, so I'll just do the same thing. Sure, it'll work. It must work. That person on Instagram says it will. You would never do that. So, well, I'm assuming you would never do that. So why would you do that when you're using natural? Because what you're doing is you're just throwing the kitchen sink at it. It's like baking a cake and you've got all the ingredients, or too many ingredients, and you just throw it all in and hope for the best. You would just end up with like some kind of chocolatey gunk. That's kind of what's going on in your body. So if you don't know your root cause problem, then the issue is you haven't got that recipe. So you're just throwing everything in. You're throwing the kitchen sink at it. It's not doing any good. Here's the thing, very often it's doing you damage. Because, for instance, if you are of the mindset that, oh, if I just lose a little bit of BMI, everything will be fine, change my diet, do a bit of yoga, that kind of thing. That's all cool. But have you thought about what happens to your body? Have you thought that in that instance, you might be running your body at a deficit? Now, in like a calorific deficit, for instance, because you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to get your body to burn fat that it would otherwise be storing for energy. So you don't have that energy to grow a baby. You don't have that bandwidth. And that's where I'm coming from in the fertility bandwidth. You need to have enough energy to grow a baby. Otherwise it won't happen. There's nothing there to grow it because that's all being used for daily living. And that's just a tiny example. And don't forget, it's never just one thing. Never just one thing. There is always a multitude of different issues that we're working with all at the same time. But hopefully that gives you an idea. I'm out of breath from walking up those steps. So yeah, take that away, do with what you want, but hopefully it helps.